The co-teaching model, supported by this innovative team, these wonderful teachers, and our own senior leaders, has created an environment where students can flourish. As the public knows, Pinehurst is comprised predominantly of ML students who need extra support, and this collaborative partnership suggests the power that Clemson believes it can have here locally to influence increased opportunity for all of our children, despite the obstacles that they might face.
So what I will say, as far as the kind of the history of this whole concept and working with Clemson, for me as the head of HR going back to around 2018, was knowing how many of our brand new teachers were coming out of college of ed programs and not always prepared to work in our highest poverty schools. So that was a real concern for me when it pretty much came to teacher turnover, teachers starting to look at other schools, maybe more affluent schools, and how do we address that? So that initially, more than the ML part of this, was the whole concept of taking our veteran teacher partnered with a brand new teacher and then offering a master's degree to that teacher as part of retention. So I don't know, I'm answering your question on the ML piece. It's kind of morphed into the fact that we landed at Pinehurst initially and now we're expanding to 2 other elementary schools. This was some of my project in the beginning, then Susan Watson Bell has just run, more than I could imagine. And I don't know if you have something to add, Susan, on the ML part, or I'll step back.
So as Bill said, we started just focusing on that co-teaching part to make sure that our teachers are taken care of, that we are providing the support that they need. And this really has, as we've learned more and more about the population at Pinehurst, has grown into something else where we've had a lot more flexibility to address those immediate needs of our ML learners because we have people who are working not 50% of the time, not one teacher teaching 50% and the other 50%, but they're both working 100% of the time. And yes, it absolutely is a bonus if we have an adult in the room that is bilingual, but just to have the 2 adults who can provide all of these additional services for students and for communicating with families has really been powerful and made this successful.
This will also allow us the opportunity to partner with some HBCUs as we look to go full circle on your question, as we look to attract. Dr. Eicher mentioned earlier recruiting and retaining the best. And so we do intend to work collaboratively, even more so with some of our HBCUs. And Susan, if you'd like to speak to that a bit.
Sure. So we are going to be recruiting from a number of different places. So if when we have a recruiting event coming up in February for all of our schools, we will be focusing on this as an option for people who would like to do co-teaching and they were traditionally trained. As we mentioned earlier, we also are looking for career changers who were not traditionally trained in education but have decided that this is how they're interested in proceeding in their career. And through Teach Charleston, our homegrown alternative certification program, we are able to train teachers or train them to become teachers. We provide really intensive coaching as well to make up for not having that 4 years of traditional education. And so we have a lot of different innovative ideas that have come together with this grant. I know when we were first talking about this many months ago, we just had layer and layer and layer and layer of different opportunity built into this. So it's been a very exciting process to go through, and we have a lot of work ahead of us, but we're excited about where it will take us.